Good morning. Sunday fun day. Might need to adjust the height of that. Okay.
Oh, shit. I don't have my glasses on. I'm getting my glasses, stay in place. Oh,
It's all blurred.
that's so weird. Let me unplug the camera and try again. I'm in a can't.
It's so. You're
What?
just in the wrong screen.
It's all blurry.
Yeah, it's blurry.
Okay. Okay, move up. There.
Okay, that's better. That's better. That's good.
Okay.
Right.
Can you see?
Contacts in, yeah. What was this? What? A little blurry itself. All right, Sunday, fun day, underway. Notice how that all kind of rhymes? That's my best. Got it all going on. To get started today, just kind of little notes about how the body operates. When we sit for long periods of time, our hips tuck under, which means these muscles in the front get shortened. These get lengthened. Same thing in the back. Chest short, back long. So getting back into a good posture is what we're working on today. So we're going to open up these muscles and strengthen up the back. And as we say that, let's come to our feet to the side of the mats. We're going to turn our feet so the side of the feet runs parallel with the mat. And as we start to warm up, we're just going to drop our hands onto our hips. And we're going to start shifting back forth, which is really left to right. Giving a little bit of opening going on, and as we get those joints, the hip joints warmed up, get a little bit of juice in them. We're going to start to add on to this by drawing back through the left hip, pushing backwards, sweeping all the way back and around, kind of like we're hula hooping. And we're going to come forward and do the same thing a few times, creating as big of a circle as possible with that pelvic girdle of yours. And we're going to come all the way back into a neutral stance, and then we're going to start the opposite way. Push that right hip out, sweep it back, round it around, and continue on this for a couple repetitions. So important to be corrected in what we do, because exhibiting reinforcement behaviors of things that are bad are not necessarily good. All right, let's bring it back up. Wiggle the hips a little bit from side to side. Take those hands off your hips and extend them forward, palms facing, fingers open wide. And then we're going to shut down. So close the fingers, open them up, shut and close. Basically, scissoring fingers and thumbs. And then hold open wide, hold long, let the shoulders guide forward. Have a big flexion in the back. This will feel pretty normal for a lot of us because it's what we do during the day. And now, what we're going to work now is thoracic extension. So I want you to imagine there's a string pulling on the top of the head, pulling the head to the sky as the spine elongates. Like you draw the shoulders backwards, keeping the palms facing. Now we're going to sweep the arms out to the side. I'm going to lower them down about 45 degrees. And we're going to rotate in and out, and in and out. As we warm up our shoulders and the musculature of our arms, so they can try to keep nice and long for the spine and the neck. And now let's let the arms drip down towards the side. Continue the exercise inward and outward. Range of motion good, all the way out, all the way in, as much as you can get. And then let's bring that calm, shake it all out. So our feet on the edges of the mats. We're going to bring our hands onto our thighs. Pull the hips backwards. I'm going to hold on this for 1 second. Now, imagine I have a cannon. I'm going to fire it into your belly. I want you to fire up those muscles. And as those muscles fire, those abdominal muscles fire, I'd like you to proud out the chest, draw the neck long, and then see if you can pull the hips back a little more. Now, bend both knees simultaneously and straighten them. Hold up. Now, in the next repetition, I'd like you to create an external force in the heel of the foot. Try to push them out from the center line as you lower and as you raise back up. Now that we have that external rotation of the heels active, you're gonna feel those exterior or outside gluteal muscles active as we hip hinge. We're gonna keep that, and we're gonna bend knees and ankles as we lower our butt towards the earth. Slowly up, slowly down. Your rate of slow is all on you. And as we come up this time, hold up, sweep your arms up to the sky. Take that left hand, grab the right wrist, and pull that right arm towards the sky. Now, both sides of the body are going to elongate. However, the right side is going to elongate more than the left. So pull across the midline of the right arm. Try to keep that spine long, rowing both sides. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, come back up to straight. Switch up sides. Same process, opposite side. And then come back up again, switch sides. Now this time, I'd like you to pull your hips backwards and lower your arms so that they have slight angulation. You can kind of see the wrists and the peripheral of your vision. I'd like you to pull the right arm long, sweep it across the midline of the body, and now take the right shoulder and open it to the sky. And then square off the shoulders, come back up center, switch sides, same angulation in the arms, pulling long, rotating the left shoulder this time to the sky, and then coming back square, hands extend all the way up to the sky, fill those lungs with air. As you exhale, release the arms down, draw the shoulders up to the ears, open the palms to face forward. As you bend through the elbows to pull them backwards, keep the palms facing forward. Squeeze the elbows together. Now, we're going to put the palms of the hands on the hips. I'm going to let the elbows sweep outward. I'd like you to round in with the shoulders and flex the spine. And then we're going to reverse this by crowding out the spine, rolling, hinging through those baby fingers as the elbows pull together in the back. Chest is proud. And then fold it back in. Open it back up. And do this a few more times. All right, this time we're going to hold up, serve out the arms, separate them shoulder width apart. Palms are facing the sky. Draw the baby fingers and forearms together. Now, with the thumbs, I'd like you to try to rotate them towards the earth, and then fold the palms together, and then open towards the earth, fold together. Open and fold. Continue. Try to keep your forearms together as you open and close, if it's possible. Now, palms together, hands come over heart, elbows raise up as the fingers rotate in towards your chest. I'm going to keep those elbows nice and high as we lower down the hips into a squat. Going to keep the chest proud. Going to keep that belly active. Remember that cannon is still positioned in front of you. Going to make sure you're nice and strong and engaged through those tummy muscles. Lowering down, holding down, slowly raising up. You should be creating a little bit of warmth, a little heart rate response. Enjoy that. It's nothing traumatic, just an engagement of more muscle, deeper requirement in our body for more oxygen, deeper breath. That's how it all works. I know. Don't talk it to death, says Kirsten. All right, extend the hands forward, separate the arms shoulder width, let them drop back down, sweep them all the way back, sweep them all the way up. And then move through that range. A few more times. Now we're going to add in, as we sweep back, I'd like you to open up the thumbs and separate them, swing them backwards so the palms are facing out and away from the body. And as the arms move forward, I'd like you to rotate the palms into the face and lift the arms up. And then lower, open, raise and rotate in. Lower and open. As we reach up this time, hold up, lower those hips. And raise back up. You're gonna feel this a little more in the upper body, in the back in particular. Keep that six pack active all the way down and up. Try to gain some control over the knees. Make sure they're not splitting open as you lower down. Try to keep them in track with the toes. Limit the range of motion where you have control over the range of motion. All the way down as far as you can go with control, all the way up. One more time down. Lower the fingers to the floor. Push the butt to the sky. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold. And do that a couple more times. Now hold that back extension. Draw the hips backwards. Straighten through the legs as best you can. Bend the knees. Straighten the legs. Increase the range of motion as best you can. All the way down, all the way up. Keeping control of those knees, making sure they're not splaying or folding in. Give me a couple more repetitions. Great, now push the hips to the sky. Keep the spine in extension. Draw back the weight to the heels. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, let the upper body fold down. Wrap elbows with hands. Opposite hand to opposite, hand opposite elbow. Hang out for a couple breaths. Shake the head around, enjoy life for a few seconds. As you release the hands, palms come onto the shins. Push the palms to the shin and bring extension to the spine. Keep that spine extension as you bend both knees, lower that butt. Now, elevations, let's talk. Hips lower than shoulders, neck pulling long, spine proud, hands reach forward. We're in a deep squat. Pulse up and down. Now, see if you can increase the range of motion. Take a little time. It's not fast, but try to get a little lower, a little high, a little lower, 6 inches up and down. Now add that to 8, and then 10, and then all the way up, all the way down, all the way up and down. Continue to go. I'm going a little faster. You take your rate of pace. And then hold down, fingertips back to the earth, butt pushes back up to the sky. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back in extension as you walk your hands forward to plank. Let's bring your feet out to the sides of the mat. And same thing with the hands. So we have a slightly wider stance than usual. Now, we're going to rock it back and forward. As we rock back, I'd like you to push your heels to the earth and then draw your hips up slightly. So they're a little higher than head level. Straighten out through the legs. And try to drive the heels as close to the earth as possible. Now keep the upper body in this position and bend both knees and try to lower them towards the earth. Feel a deep stretch to those posterior muscles of the lower leg and the bottom of the foot. As we come back to straight leg, drive the heels back to the earth, push with the arms. Upper body long, upper body stable, knees bent. Hover them just above the earth. Push the heels back to begin the elevation and lengthening of the legs. Drive the heels back to the earth. Seeing if you notice any difference in the proximity of the heel. Now, we're going to do this one more time. Knees bend. Knees straighten. Heels drive to the earth. Walk your hands back to your legs. We are still folded. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Straighten out the legs. Make a pronounced effort to turn the ball of each big toe into the mat. As you do that, like draw the hips backwards and straighten the legs even more if you can. On the next breath, as you release it, let the upper body fold down, hang out for a couple breaths. Bring your hands to your thighs, one vertebrae at a time, Pilates style, returning back up to a standing position. Hands remain on thighs. Now, check out what's going on with the shoulders. With hands on thighs, we might need to raise or lower. The goal here now is to kind of draw the shoulders up, crowd out the chest, and draw the shoulders backwards into the better alignment for them. As we keep that now, hands are still going to remain on our body, palms of course, and we're going to take our elbows and squeeze the body, try to close them, Now, as you do that, I'd like you to grow the neck to your right. Much the same way with our torso, it's not cramping down or crimping on one side and elongating on the other. Imagine both sides are growing, one just more so than the other. Come back center and take it to the opposite side. To come back center this time, I'd like you to re-engage those muscles that pull the elbows together and then drop the chin onto the chest. And then bring it back up to neutral and then pull an imaginary string on the top of your head, pull it to the sky. And then drop the chin and face it back upwards. This time look up to the sky and then lower the chin all the way down. And then all the way up. Keep those elbows pulling together. And then lower back to a neutral headset. Take your chin, turn it to the right shoulder, drop it down slowly. Raise it up, square off that face as you come back to center. Take it to the opposite side, lower down. Now you're going to notice maybe some behavioral or postural behavior things, which is your shoulders wanting to roll in. I'd like you to try to keep control of that as we move from side to side. Now everyone meet back center, release the hands, shake out the arms, sweep them up to the sky to salute the sun. Good morning, sunshine. As you exhale this time, fold all the way down and walk the plank. I'm going to rock it forward and back. And on the back rock, I'd like you to drive the heels to the earth and pull the hips up to the sky. Down dog. Push high to the tippy toes. Drive the heels. Keep the heels driving to the earth as you return back to the plank. And then do that all over again. Tippy toes, heels. Heels drive, sweep back to plank. Continue. On this next repetition, hold it up on the tippy toes. And then let both knees descend towards the earth as they float. Come back to straight legs, hips pulling high to the sky, and then do this a couple more times. On the next repetition, take that down dog back to an inverted position by walking the hands backwards. When you arrive upon the feet, register the weight, front to back equal. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Keep the back in extension as you straighten both legs. Keep both legs straight as you pull the butt backwards. And walk your fingers forward. For that nice pull through the back of the arms, the lats, maybe even down into the middle portion of the back. Enjoy it for a couple seconds. On your next breath, as you release it, let the upper body flex down, hang out for a couple more breaths. And then reverse swan dive. Arms come all the way up. Salute the sun. And let's the hands descend over hearts. Namaste, no, I'm kidding. All right, I'm gonna take your right foot, step it forward. We're gonna be on the toes of that back foot. Now, what we're gonna do is gonna bring straightness to this front leg. So as we post that leg straight, bless you. I'd like you to make sure we're not externally rotating on the side of the center of the foot. Let's do some internal rotation. Take the ball of the big toe, make an effort to rotate it down onto the mat. So it doesn't mean we lift off the other side, just push the ball in. Now with the legs straight, I'm gonna chop point through the right hip and keep the upper body nice and long and engage through our abdominal muscles. Still have hands over hearts. In this now, we're going to initiate rotation. So we're going to take our shoulder carriage and rotate it right. And come back center. And then do that a couple more times, nice and slow. Now, you might fall off balance, and I'd like you to try to keep the balance effort to the ball of the big toe, that front foot, as we make these rotational ventures. All right, come back up to standing. Take the back foot forward, switch up sides. Same posting, straight, ball of big toe, chop point left hip this time. Keeping spine long as we rotate to the left. Slowly, and come back center. Try not to drift off center, and rotation effort has to be met with stability. So if you're forcing yourself to do something and getting all wobbly, take your time getting to the deeper levels of rotation. Just do this one more time, coming back center, keep hands over heart as you step the back foot forward. And now we're going to step the opposite side back. And we're going to lean in a little bit. We're going to keep nice and tall. And what we're going to do is just alternate left to right. So we're going to step forward and then backward opposite side, and then continue on our little march, if you will. Now the leg that's out front is still straight. So we're just basically have a slight bend in it, really. But we have it more straight than bent. And our progression is going to bring in more bend to that knee. Now, let's start it by stepping the left leg back, taking the left knee, dropping it to the earth, which means the right knee has got to go into more flexion. And when we step forward, we're going to take the left knee off and step forward. So it's a smooth transition. It's not compartmentalized. We're basically stepping up and switching sides. Nice and smooth, nice and control. As we go in our little hike, we can talk about some of the beautiful things in life. Like how glorious of a good day it is. We should feel a little bit of heart rate response. We have a lot of muscle in action. A lot of hip, knee, ankle flexion and extension. Now we're going to hold up. I'm going to step back because the fan overhead. No need for you to move. Now with hands over heart, I'm going to take my legs out to the edge of the mat, but we're going to post the heels on the edges and the toes are going to be in towards the center line. Now let's bend both knees and then we're going to straighten both legs and then we're going to engage the six pack. We're going to chop through the hips, keeping those legs nice and long. We're going to begin to fold down, holding the spine long and making sure your head isn't falling off your bottom. Come back up to standing, hold up, and do it again. So as you move, there's a proclivity, an inclination of our bodies so that our normal behavioral patterns take over. So I'd like you to gain control. And I simply mean not to be cryptic, but if your spine is going through any kind of movement, flexion, extension, try to keep it from doing either. We're just keeping the spine neutral and hip hinging. Now, lowering down, holding down. See if you can lower a little lower. Try to keep those legs nice and straight. Try to get a little more depth without flexing the spine. Just we kept it long as we have with our neck. See if you can get a little lower. And then slowly rise back up. Good job. Now, when we arise, I'd like you to take a post of both legs. I'd like you to take the ball of each big toe, each foot, and I'd like you to push it into the mat and bring straightness to your knees. And then once the legs are straight, kind of like a chopstick, we're gonna scissor the chopsticks together. So we're gonna hold that scissor, keeping hands over heart, keep that squeeze, that internal medial, if you will, those middle muscles, those inner thigh muscles active as you pull the hips back, keeping the legs straight and upper back straight. Come back up to standing. So we're squeezing those muscles, we're activating them as we pull the hips backwards and hip hinge, keeping spine long, enjoying this range of motion that the opportunity presents with spine long. Get a little deeper, all the way up, all the way back. On the next up, hold up. Now, keep the squeeze of the legs, push the hips forward, engage the six pack. Pull back down, let the fingertips drop to the earth, step the toes straight forward, inhale, extend to a flat back, exhale, fold. Take a couple breaths. As you inhale this time, unfold, salute the sun. Nice. Now, relax the arms. Take the right foot, step it forward. We're going to be down on the heel of that left foot. So we have a narrower stance where we can have both feet flat to the earth. I'd like you to step today, the feet a little closer. So just inside the width of the hip, toes aiming straight forward. Now the ball of the left, ball of the right, I'd like you to keep those on your mat. So we're not rolling the feet out. And then both legs, we want straight to start. Chopping through the hip, we're going to fold, fold, fold until we can't hold the spine long. And then come back up. And you'll know when you kind of see it kind of get in. You just feel like, oh. That's when you've gone too far with this particular exercise. So we can increase the range of motion, but I'd like you to do it with stabilization for that back. So this is really lengthening out our gluteals, and we're really more exercising because we're imparting the upper weight, the weight of the upper body into that muscle. Slowly lowering and slowly raising. It's very granular in terms of muscles being active. And on this next rep, hold up, switch up, opposite side. Same stance. And continue the exercise. You may notice, of course, I shouldn't say of course, you may notice that one side seems to function better than the other. And that's just simply our bilateral symmetry. It's always off. We're kind of born with favoring one side. And some people say, well, that's been debunked. Well, we become dominant through characteristical behavior, whether it's perception, trauma, injury, or whatever, we develop it. And that's just kind of part of the course. All right, and the next rep, hold up, step the foot back. We're on the back part of the mat. Excuse me. Now, we're going to do kind of a similar thing where we're gonna have a little more explosive work here. And what I mean by that is we're gonna step the right foot forward. We're gonna lean into the foot, spine long, and then we're going to shoot back onto that standing stance. I'm going to switch sides. Step forward, lean in, shoot it back. I like to bring my arms into it. So as my right foot extends forward, left arm pushes out, and then opposite. So let's hold it up this time. And then the next exercise here, which is just a progression. We're gonna step it forward. And we're gonna take the right knee and push it forward. So we're up on the toes of that back foot. Push, push, push. So you can get that nice elongation in the spine, left hand reaching forward, and then shoot it back. Whoops, switch up sides. So this depth now, this range increase is what we're trying to do to lengthen out some of these inner thigh and front muscles of the body. Our quadriceps more active in this movement now. It's the one force that drives the extension through the knee. And we're getting nice work and nice lengthening. All right, hold it back, catch your breath. I'm going to grab some water. You guys are exhausting me today. Now, for me and for you, maybe the low back, you kind of feel we've worked it a lot today. That's good. Cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
All right. Good news. Taking it down to the mat. Oh. All about smooth transitions today. Yeah. All right. So here we go on the mat. Knees bent. Put a 90-degree angle in both knees as you sit there. I'm going to wrap the kneecaps with the hands. Now, spinal flexion, spinal extension, pelvic inflection. That's the turning point. But simultaneously, I want you to try to practice two things. Extending and crowding the chest, extending the spine, crowding the chest, and rolling the pelvic girdle down onto the mat, onto the sit bones. So flex the spine, let the shoulders drift forward. On the tailbone, roll up off the tailbone, spine long, chest crowd. That's the movement. Okay, come back, pull up, and arms are for assisting, right? So if you need more of them, use more of them. And if you don't need as much, you can actually take them up and bring hands over heart. So this progression is all on you. Whatever works best for your body today. The important part is we're kind of rocking that pelvic girdle as we work extension of the spine, keeping everything nice, active. Now hold up, wrap the knees again. Oh, so I'm sorry, I just got a little bit of cramp. Wrap the knees again, keep chest proud. We're going to pull back with the elbows, crowding at the chest and growing the spine long, and then leaning back. So the angle on the elbows is getting shorter. We're lengthening through the arms. You have a nice lean back. And then you're going to take the right hand, reach it out, and replace it, switch sides. So we're adding more work into those hip flexors. We have them in a high degree of flexion right now. So they should feel like they're really loved at this point in time. All right, so there's a lot of blood flow heading into those muscles. We're going to add both hands together, up and down with the arms. No more grabbing the knees, holding. Now, as the hands come down, I want you to flex. As your arms come down, flex, and as they go up, crowd out the chest, reach for the sky. You can do that a couple more times. All right, now hands over heart, Pilates style, bring it back down onto the earth. Oh, extend the legs out all the way. Nice. Now, take the hands above the chest.
Separate them shoulder width apart. Drop your chin onto your chest and Pilates style, come all the way up and dive it down. Hold out for a couple breaths. Starting with the pelvic girdle, I'd like you to start to roll it backwards onto the tailbone. Keep your spine in flexion. Keep that chin dropped in on your chest until you arrive on the earth and let the back of the head gently alight on your mats as you reach your arms backwards. Use your fingers to guide along that whole arm and shoulder carriage, pulling up to the ears. Fill the lungs. On the release of the breath, start this all over again. And then back. And one more time, coming all the way up. Oh my goodness, how much fun was that? As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Walk your hands back up, sitting into our nice, tall, engaged staff pose. We're going to bring our shoulders up to the ears. We're going to take our hands and walk them out the side of the body. So I'm on my fingertips. My arms are wide enough. My hands are wide enough out. When my arms are straight, my fingertips are on the earth. I'm going to take my head and drop the chin onto my chest. I'm going to hold the chin down and I'm going to walk my fingers backwards. And then I'm going to walk my hands forward as I come back to a neutral head. Let's do it again. Chin drops, walk back the hands. Walk them back. Head comes back to neutral. Walk the fingers out again, and then walk them out and back this time as the chin drops down. And then walk it back up, and take your body back into a lying down position, Pilates style, any way you want. Take your left foot, post it onto the earth. Take your right ankle and drop it onto that left thigh. Now, we're just going to use the ankle or the foot as a hinge as we rotate out and in the knee. Now add a little bit to this. Push the foot into the thigh as you rotate externally and internally. So it's together. And switch sides. Start just by expressing the movement. And then add the push of the foot onto the thigh. And continue for a few more repetitions. So even though this is kind of working against range of motion, I like you to try to achieve maximal range of motion while the foot pushes. All right, let's bring both feet back to the earth. Pull the knees up and into the chest, forehead up to meet the knees. And then rock and roll all the way up to a seated position. Take your left leg, put a 90-degree bend in it as you scooch yourself over to the left side of the mat. I'm going to keep the posting of the foot on that right side, looking at a 45-degree angle. So if you can imagine 90 degrees in the front, and if you kind of look through your pelvic girdle, the right leg would be a 45-degree angle off of that. Now you're going to take your hips, I'm talking the right hip, and I like you to pull it up off the earth and then rotate it through to the front. So we're kind of squaring off that hip. Now, whatever's happening here, I like you to try to reverse that. I like you to pull
with the muscles, not push with the arm, pull with the muscles as we kind of find that nice length through that left side body. I'm gonna ask you now to lower down and see if you can get a little more rotation through that right hip. So the hinge point is really the outside of that right foot. Try to keep opening it up. You're gonna get more and more with little breaths, with little relaxation, with a little effort. Chest is proud, spine long, hips opening, kind of thing. All right, now lower it back down, come back up onto your left hand, body's tall. We're gonna take our upper body now, and I'm gonna bring it forward. So this is an interim step here with this exercise. So we've reduced some of the middle or medial muscles by keeping that right foot posted. So you might find you're able to get a bigger range of motion. It's for people kind of mastering this movement pattern. You'll notice that I'm assisting with my arms right now. If you're strong enough to do this without the assistance of the arms, please guide yourself here. All right, so you come back up, switch up sides. Same setup, opposite side. And I'm going to move back here, so I'm up your way. And then we're going to start to open and close that left leg. With each rep, I try to increase, even if it's just fractional increases, the amount of opening. Now, I'm going to lower down onto the right forearm, see if I get more opening, and it's more because we're kind of changing the angle through the pelvic girdle, but it provides a little bit of better opportunity to work that mobility through that left hip socket, keeping spine long, chest long. Whoops, I'm going to bring my hand back here. And then when I post back up again, coming back up and beginning the front exercise. Up and down. Most of us experienced, after rehearsing movement a couple times, the ability to recruit more muscle. So again, a different way of saying, if you can do this without the assistance, it's a better way to add more workload to increase the strength on the muscle. On the next repetition, we're going to come up. I'm going to bring both feet forward. I'm going to take it down onto our backside. We got a couple stretches. Boy, we're running out of time. It's went a lot faster than expected today. So, oldie but a goodie. Both feet flat to the earth. Take the right leg. Sweep it over on the left side. Try to keep the left and right knee close together as you use the right leg to pull the left towards the earth. Now, it's about floating two sides. I know both sides can turn down, but we keep the muscle active, it stretches. If we let go of the muscle, it's not really doing anything. So I like you to pull the fingers directly above the head. So you're reaching upward and backward, right? It's this pull, pull, pull. Now, as you continue to pull towards the ground, the left leg, using the right, keep the tension in the muscles, so you feel it over that left hip, and then reach that left hand off at a 45-degree angle. And then try to pull along that whole side body. Take a couple breaths here. And as you release the breath, roll back onto your backside. Switch up opposite sides. Such a great stretch. I just really love it. Now, begin the descent. Keep the tension on those muscles that interact with your hip as you sweep the right arm backwards. Keep the fingers separated and use the use the fingers to pull the whole arm and shoulder carriage directly backwards. Feel that nice length of the side body.
Take a couple breaths. On the next breath, let's begin to pull the arm long and sweep it out about 45 degrees. Now really reach, so you're kind of pulling all the way as much as you can. On the next breath, return everything back onto the backside. When you arrive with both feet on the earth, maybe a little bit of pelvic rocking, and then pull the knees up into the chest, bring the head up to meet the knees, and rock and roll front to back. Nice, extend the legs all the way out.
As you separate them wider than hip width, walk the fingers forward.
This is kind of my favorite part of that Pilates style sit up. Get that nice low back release.
As you inhale, extend to a flat back. Walk your hands back into staff pose.
You're out of time.
We're out of time.
Yeah.
What do you mean we're out of time? I guess we're out of time. That's my time to say thank you for joining me today, and I hope you enjoy our exercises. Namaste.
Namaste. Good job. Oh,
Oh, what's that? Oh.
yeah.